What's up YouTube, Crafting Cars here, happy Friday. Now in today's video I'm going to be installing a brand new set of Blox Tuner Stage 2 cams into my Honda B16 motor here. I'm also going to put the cam caps and covers on, and I'm going to walk you through the whole thing so you can do it at home as well. Now before we do anything, we got to make sure cylinder 1 is at top dead center, which is its highest point on the compression stroke. And the best way to do this is to take something long and skinny like this little magnet here, kind of fish it down your spark plug hole, and then turn over the crankshaft either with the pulley or as I'm using the flywheel here. Then as you turn it counterclockwise, you'll see it raise. It'll get to its highest point, and then it'll start falling down. You want to go back to that highest point, and that'll be your top dead center. And just to double check that you are on the compression stroke, you can always go ahead, back it up a little bit, put your palm or anything over the spark plug hole, and then turn it. You can kind of hear the pressure. Hear the pressure escape out of there. That's how you know it's building pressure in the combustion chamber and it's ready for that spark right at top dead center. And we can go ahead and move on with our lives and get it rolling, get the ball rolling. Now we can go ahead and replace our OEM camshaft. The first thing I'm going to want to do is take off this cam gear. And the way to do this is to remove this 14mm bolt here. Now I'm not going to lie to you, this 14mm bolt was a bitch to get off. I had to borrow Gideon's top of the line impact wrench just to get that thing off. So I already got it loosened up. You'll take the bolt out. But then when you take the cam off, be very careful because there's a little keyway in there. You don't want that to fall out. There's a key on the shaft right there. Carefully remove that, set it off to the side. And then you'll notice it's got this cam seal as well. I'll pay close attention. The cup of the seal, the hollow part, is facing towards the left there, away from the cam gear. So we're just gonna remember that as we slide it off. Now just so I don't forget anything, I'm gonna grab the new cam. And you can tell it's the intake cam because this little piece right here juts out a little bit farther than the exhaust cam. So here we go. I'm going to take it. Before I put the key on and the cam gear, I actually got a brand new OEM cam seal that I want to put on there. I got some Vaseline, just kind of rub on the inside, just so you don't tear the seal on the install. I can just slip that on over. Go ahead and put in the key. Slip on the OEM cam gear. And then thread the bolt on by hand. Now I won't go and torque this 14mm bolt to spec until I actually have this camshaft assembly installed in the motor with the timing belt on. But as you can see, it's pretty simple. That's one Blox camshaft in, and we just got one more to go. So I'm gonna set this off to the side. And that's two. Alrighty, so we're about to put these cams in, but first things first, make sure that all these mating surfaces are clean and have a thin layer of assembly lube on them, and then you're going to want to put some lube on the cams as well. Lubed up and ready to install. I'm going to go ahead and start with the intake cam. You want to make sure that the little up arrow indicator is obviously facing up when you place it in. Same thing with the exhaust cam. And then to make sure these are aligned, I actually have a little tool that kind of slides in between the cams and holds them in place. So I'm gonna go grab that quick. All right, so now that the cams are held in place, I can go ahead and install these cam caps here. I think they call these cam cap girdles. And what's kind of cool about these is they have little indicators. Let's see, that one's got a 3 on it. That one has a 2 on it. That one has a 4 on it. And that kind of shows which direction you want to orient these in the engine, as well as which order you want them. So I'm going to go ahead, place those, place these, and then install all the hardware just hand tight. And I'll make sure to put these external cam caps on as well. Alright, so now that you got your cams held firmly into place, you can go ahead and install your covers. Which is nice about these 3 caps here is they're numbered and have arrows on them, so then when you install them, it's kind of hard to mess it up because it shows you the orientation at which they need to be installed. These covers here are going to stretch lengthwise over these caps, and then these caps here are going to be bolted down in each of the 4 corners of the cylinder head. And I'm just going to start out by kind of hand tightening everything. All these black bolts here are for the cam covers here, and then all these gold ones are for the cam caps that sit on the outside. Now, one thing that you don't want to forget is on the center cap here, it requires a O-ring and a dowel pin that are placed right in the center of the head here. And that's the only one that requires that. Alright, so now that we got that taken care of, I'm going to go ahead and switch the camera over to the time-lapse mode, and I'm going to put everything into place. Now, I should have mentioned this earlier in the video, but while you have this bottom left cam cap off, now is a really good time to replace this cam seal here. The OEM ones like to fail, so I'm going to go ahead and throw in this Skunk 2 aluminum cam seal with 3 O-rings. You can put a little bit of Honda Bond around it just to kind of help it seal. I'm just going to add a tiny bit. And this kind of just drops into place. Alrighty, so I got everything held into place here. As you can see, I got some brand new hardware here. This is for my Skunk 2 valve cover. It's kind of like a low profile washer set to make your valve cover hardware look all nice. You'll be seeing that in a later video, but for now I'm going to go ahead and torque these all to spec. You can find the torque sequence and the actual torque specs in the Honda manual. It says for most of these cam cover bolts it's 16 foot-pounds, but then for these caps on the sides, those are all 8 foot-pounds. So I'll probably just use the impact just to get them close, and then I'll go through with the torque wrench. and just like that, we got both our new cams installed, covers on, caps on, everything torqued to spec, and we're ready for the next project. So we'll see you on Tuesday and next Friday, and if you haven't already, don't forget to, like, share, and subscribe, and tell your friends. Until next time, bye!